College football 25 is back, and that means DJ Uiagalelei's 17th season, and now he's a Florida State cinnamon roll leading them out in week 0. And what we saw was an absolute phenomenal masterclass. And it might have shut up a lot of people that were saying college football 25 wasn't quote-unquote realistic. But I don't know. I'm seeing Montana State take down New Mexico State. I'm seeing Florida State struggle, not just struggle, but lose against them Yellow Jackets. Ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at a 2007 college football season part 2, maybe. But at the end of the day, it's really just because DJ Uiagalelei, whatever, Hakalugi, the big bad ukulele, the big bad Hawaiian, 255, 230-pound gentleman, 17th year senior on his 88th team in college football. It is 2 packs of hot grade. Anyway, we're not going to spend too much time on DJ Uiagalelei. It was an embarrassment from Florida State. It was an absolute amazing masterclass from Georgia Tech today. We're going to talk about a few things. First thing, we're going to talk about the issues, problems, and situations that might have arose with how college football 25 put some things and how the real world in college football put some things. We're going to talk about a little bit of the game recap. FSU coming out hot, swinging gates and all different types of things. I got dang negative 0.1 air yards, DJ, through the first half, and then Georgia Tech, a bunch of dogs, okay? After that, we're gonna go ahead and take a steaming pile, on DJ Hakalugi. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all watching this video. I appreciate you being here. Like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't like it, subscribe if you love college football, because I will be covering it all week long. Not week long, all year long. That's college football 25, the game, exposing it, putting it under the spotlight it needs to be, as well as exposing college football, because you can't have one without the other. You can't have amazing, crazy times in the video game without amazing, crazy times in the real world of college football. In my handy dandy notes here, we got to start with the stats from DJ Uiagalelei. They're going to pop up. They're probably on the screen right here. I think 19 for 27, 100 and something yards, 134 QBR. QBR is going to lie to you, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, he didn't throw any interceptions. Of course, he didn't have any real issues. It's because he wasn't throwing the ball down the field. And when he did, man, it was embarrassing. And we are going to talk about something. We are going to give him points for being absolutely deadly on 4th and long for some reason. But why we had back-to-back 4th and longs, that's a whole different conversation for a whole different time in this video. Let's get to it. College football 25 gave us a false sense of security, and that false sense of security is confirming that Florida State was a top 11 team. Obviously, they're ranked as top 10 coming into this little Ireland debacle, but clearly that was too high. Clearly acknowledging Florida State's new revamped team with plenty of transfers coming in from Georgia, Alabama, Texas A&M. I mean, they are like Texas A&M 2.0. They reloaded and came back in a way that I think a lot of people were very impressed with Florida State. If not going to be a perennial power in the college football landscape, people really assumed that, hey, an ACC title run might not be too far out of the eyes of them Seminoles. But ladies and gentlemen, Mr. King with them Yellow Jackets came in Ireland. They said they saw the ratings. They saw we're unranked. I've been playing college football 25, and if you have, Mr. King with the 10 on his back, he got 90 speed, and he was showing every bit of 90 speed out there in Ireland because, ladies and gentlemen, steamboating people. But I got a bone to pick with college football because he has 90 speed. He didn't look like he had 90 speed out there. He had like this deceptive speed. He was like running in slow motion and fast motion. Somehow he was killing corners every single time. It was electrifying, but it also looked like the slowest thing I've ever seen in my life. Maybe just because the guy's got long tree trunk legs. I don't know. They brought in at one point on the goal line. We're gonna get into the full game recap. I just thought it was hilarious that at one point for Georgia Tech, the 6'3", 216 quarterback, 216-pound quarterback came came out, and then they brought in a 6'3", 220-pound quarterback. They said, we need about 15 more yards to get this 1 yard. So shout out to them. I love their game plan of just running through people's faces and jaws and ripping them off. But really, this is a tale of Florida State giving up the game. Let's get right into the recap. Florida State comes in and they come out hot. They've got new running backs. They've got a few new offensive linemen. They've, of course, got the big bad new DJ. You need to get a job because you're 28 years old. CJ Stroud's already in the league, and for some reason, you're on your 8th team. But in CJ Stroud's second trip down in the ACC, it seems that he was at least promised to have a lot of talent on the outside. Nice receivers, great running back, a whole nice slew of situations, and they showed that coming out smooth, fast, and in a hurry, scoring on the first drive, doing it in an efficient way. I believe it was like a 5-play, 75-yard drive. I mean, DJ was dinking and dunking like he's known to do. The offensive run game looked explosive. I hope it's not a defensive run game, but the offensive run game of Florida State looked amazing. It's great. And then out of nowhere, this is some real week 0 starting your season off just to get the blood flowing, right? You want your boys to feel a certain way, huh? You don't just go down there and score some points. You go down there and you put a 2-point conversion. So not only is everybody in the world and Ireland assuming that Florida State is going to steamroll Georgia Tech, Florida State takes it to the next level and says, yo, Big Norvy, he says, yo, let's go for 2 on him. Let's go big swinging gate. Let's make it happen. Oh, yeah, we ain't seen this one since your high school varsity semifinals. I know you haven't seen it since then. 1995, a nice, cool swinging gate out to the tight end. He gets in, scoops in, and we're 8-0 against the Yellow Jackets. But what do the Yellow Jackets do? What do they do except come back with a more impressive drive? They march down the field, 7 plays, 79 yards. Mr. King was shown. He showed his speed, his athleticism, his ability to make decisions when it came to the RPOs, as well as handing the ball off. We were shown number 11, a converted wide receiver. I forgot his name. His name is probably going to be up here at some point. That kid was electric. I think he's only like 5'7", double ones on his back, and he was showing off great things. He's a converted wide receiver to running back, and he was looking effective, and he definitely came up big at the end of the game. But that first drive, I think, is very important. If you've ever played high school football or pee-wee football, or at least stood next to a football coach for 5 minutes, you're going to hear this saying, and that saying is, football games, son, are won between 3 and 5 plays, okay? And I'm not sure about the exact 3 to 5 plays, but for me, I've always summed it up to there is typically 1 to 2 drives that define a game, and that second drive from Georgia Tech completely set the tone. You have to understand, look, they kick the field goal, they do about it, the importance of that response and the fact of what Florida State how good they look. Georgia Tech didn't miss a beat. They were confident, they were calm, they were cool, and it felt like when the defense went back out there, they had a new level, they had a new juice. That offense put the battery in the back of Georgia Tech. Instead of we're this underdog ACC team that's just hoping to make this competitive, when you see your offense just march down the field, just doing it in every way. King was doing it through the air, on the ground, handing the ball off. It really seemed like the trenches. All these new revamped Florida State offensive linemen, I didn't see it. I mean, defensive linemen, I didn't see it. Because these Georgia Tech boys, these engineers were moving bodies. The Pandas were doing all types of phenomenal things. It looked amazing. It looked efficient. If I could point something out, as Georgia Tech goes on their meteoric rise, one thing that was kind of kept harkening and kept being repeated is their new defensive coordinator. And that new defensive coordinator was getting to work. Shout out to the dogs on Georgia Tech. The 3 players that stand out to me is the big commander himself, double 44s in the middle, just with that classic linebacker aesthetic. He had the neck roll. He was yoked up. He's got the dang eye black coming down in a beautiful triangle. I need him in the A gap every single time, son. Then you had number 1. I believe he was playing a bit of box safety as well as regular free safety. I loved it. I felt like he was just showing up, making plays. all the time. I feel like if there was a DB in the box making a play for Georgia Tech, it was number one. He was swarming. He was flying over the place. Mr. Wright is going to be that third dog that I thought that shut out. Number 9, their edge player in the game, highly ranked, in the real world, highly ranked, highly touted as a potential good edge prospect coming into the NFL, and he was showing it, man. He did have this crazy face mask. It was a great rep, but comes in to get DJ Uiagalelei, whatever his name is, and just gets a little bit of the face mask, and that was nasty. But after that, I don't think he got any more sacks, but he was a force. I'm talking about setting the edge. I'm talking about giving DJ fits. He did not get it felt like that team, not only the way that it was being called, and I'm about to get to that, but also the dogs and the leaders of this team. They've got playmakers in Georgia Tech. This didn't feel like Florida State is just not that good and Georgia Tech just kind of gets excited and they just push it because they're good engineers and they got no dog. Georgia Tech's got some dogs. It was standing out that the playmakers were just making more plays for Georgia Tech. They were just standing out way more. I thought the quarterback was a lot more outstanding when it came to the plays and when they needed them. Although, as we're talking here, and before we talk about that, I want to stop right at the half. I talked about Georgia Tech being great. It looked good. It was more of an even game coming into half. But one weird thing that we're going to talk about, and it's going to come back up when we give DJ his own flowers and make sure he gets his own job, is the fact that at the half, DJ had thrown for negative 0.1 air yards. I think 96 passing yards in general. Negative 0.01 air. I don't even fathom how that's possible. I don't get that. But what I do understand is that the new crown of Dink and Dunk King has been ripped away from Bo Nix and placed firmly on the head of DJ. Look at that ukulele over there, because I got to tell you, son, I think that Coach Norvell just hates him. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not sure how in every single time I've seen DJ, he just looks painfully mid. He's not a bad quarterback. He's not a terrible quarterback. But my God, some plays you see beautiful steps rolling to the left. Oh, look at that. It's just off platform looking great. He's coordinating. He's doing things. He's reading. And then it's just like, what is that? Right after that, it's just like, what are we doing? It's not even like some awful pass. It's just like, you just didn't pass. You didn't do it. You don't want to stretch the field. And I'm really hoping that that's not a coaching thing, but this is the third team we've seen him like that. In Oregon State, he was known for being super efficient. I think he led the league in either passing percentage and or completions. That's all dink and dunks. That's all he wants to do with the football, unless it's 4th and long. I want to say, now that we've gotten past the halftime, I've talked a little about DJ, and we're going to give DJ his own little part. We're gonna watch some DJ Uiagalelei memes and kind of how people were, because they were giving it to him, pause. But just to wrap this up, because you know what happens at the end. Georgia Tech storms. They stay good. They stay firm. Their dogs start dogging. Number 11 comes up big. The big bad king does amazing things with his legs. And it just felt like the Georgia Tech offense was firing on all cylinders throughout that offense. Now, there was a scary point. I think it was tied up 21-21 coming to close out before they got that game-winning field goal. There was a fumble, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is over. We're going to overtime. I was hoping for some overtime, but they smack a beautiful field goal in a rainy, nasty Dublin, and Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets go ahead and shock the world. They make Georgia Tech tickets more expensive. I live in Atlanta, so I don't know if I'll be able to afford one now. And give us a phenomenal game to start off this amazing college football season. My biggest takeaway, not just the dogs that Georgia Tech clearly has, not just the holes that Florida State clearly still needs to fill, especially from a cultural standpoint, culture, not cultural standpoint. It's just that there's a lot, man. There is a lot going on. I'm just happy that college football is back. But before we wrap it up, before we take our time and kind of do things, and I hope y'all aren't too worried. I will be continuing the college football 25 exposing and exposés. But when amazing college football is on, I hope you don't mind if I go ahead and take a dip and dabble and talk about this little situation here. DJ Uiagalelei when he's not facing a Mountain West team. He went over there in Oregon State to repair his what's it called? What they call it? His public perception. You know what I'm saying? He went over there, basically went to rehab, and I like to call it what's it called? No pressure rehab. Went out there in Oregon State where nobody was expecting anything from him, dinks, dunks, and got it good, and now everybody thinks he's a good quarterback. DJ Uiagalelei, I need a Luke. I'm sorry, I gotta stop. Uiagalelei, I don't know, dog. 19 for 27, 193 yards, and 130.4 passing rating. 6 carries for 7 yards. Transfer from Oregon State in the offseason. Tough. I don't get the DJ Uiagalelei hate. Once he improves his run game, pass accuracy, makes the correct read, is able to work harder, and learns how to play football, he'll be one of the best in the game. And I think this is where we're gonna stop it. This is where I think we're gonna kind of park the bus here, because I don't like hating on these young players, but a player that has been supposed to be the guy in Clemson, who's supposed to be the guy, and wait, where did he transfer before he going to Oregon State? Is it just there and then Oregon State? I'm messing up. Wait a minute. Here, I completely forgot. If only there was like a way to tell and remember how many games that or how many teams he's been. I think it's just 3. But it's an excuse. I'm trying to show you a meme. Okay, here we go. Clemson will be a great fit for DJ. Oregon State will be a great fit for DJ. Now, you know what's crazy? Again, Oregon State, he had a pretty efficient team. The backup quarterback, the head coach left for another job. The backup quarterback went with him. DJ didn't go with them. That's all that needs to be said there. But the biggest thing is this. I love just looking at this. DJ is losing to unranked teams on his 3rd college, while CJ Stroud is a top 10 in the. I mean, come on, dog. This is the craziest thing of all time. You never know about these ranking things. I really hoped DJ was going to be a great player. I hated that he struggled in his first year in Clemson, but the reality is he's been playing football since I think what's it called? It was my freshman year in college. I'm graduated now. We all got to get jobs at some point. But you'd be amazing. You'd be great. I appreciate you watching this. I hope you love college football just as much as me, because I'm a degenerate. I'm deep into it. I'm going to be doing college football games. I'm going to be doing college football videos about games, college football videos about the actual games, everything else in between. I want to expose it all today. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope you enjoy the future videos. I hope you like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't like it. You be easy and breezy.